So what's up, guys? It's Curtis Don Deano, and today I'll be talking about Split. To jump right in, Split is a movie about three teenage girls being taken, no pun intended. Definitely no pun intended because the movies are not similar at all. I mean, from the previews you can tell. But they're taken by a guy that has split personalities. If you've seen the trailer, then you already know what I mean by that. And I guess the pun intended was there. Wait, it wasn't a pun. Never mind. So, long story short, wait, was I just fighting with my own mind? Wow, that must have rubbed off from somewhere. And that's all I really can say about the plot, because it just kind of builds from there. Now, Split is a thriller, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. I don't even know if that's really what they categorized it as, but that's the impression I got. And I'm like you. I don't really know much, but I know what I see, and I have an opinion. Right or wrong, right? Okay, bet. So, Split is a thriller that you don't really expect. Like, it's not what you're expecting, because it's a smart thriller. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of smart thrillers. Like, one of my favorites would probably be The Lovely Bones, where it isn't really predictable, and it has some type of fantasy to it. It has some type of science fiction to it. It has some type of who was on drugs, or what drug was the person on that wrote this. It has that it has that effect to it. Like, if I had to give it a grade, I would give it an A+. It is well written, it is thought provoking, it's smart, and when I call a movie smart, I mean it's good at what it does. It knows it like teaches you, but it kind of like it's just. And when I start to stutter, you know something is good. So if you ever hear me stuttering, it's because I don't know what I'm about to say, or something is really good. And in this case, it is really good. Like, this movie was, I definitely can put it in my list of top movies. And I'm not going to say a top number because I watch a lot of movies, but definitely one of my favorites. Honestly, I think I could even watch it again. The acting. Okay, so let's just get right to it. James McAvoy. I mean, literally, there are probably 5 people in this entire movie. And James McAvoy, his performance, and I call it a performance because it was literally art. I respect acting that makes me like acting. Like you watch a movie, you really don't, if you aren't really into acting or theater, you're not really worried about okay, if someone's acting bad, you're like, oh, this is a horrible actor. And like, if someone's believable, you're not even really thinking about how believable they are. You're just kind of thinking like, wow, this is a really good story. Is this real? Like, when I tell you, James McAvoy literally made me think about wanting to take an acting class. When I tell you, he could change personalities just by the looks on his face. So he would go from one guy that'd be like, like that, and then he would go from the fabulous woman that you see in the trailer, like that. It's just amazing. Like, his poise would change, and his facial expressions. And honestly, where's this man's Oscar? Can somebody give him an Oscar? Like, seriously, I know they usually don't give out Oscars for movies like this, or at least that's my assumption, but like, can he get an Oscar? Because I feel like the Oscars are so biased. It's like, make a corny, thought-provoking movie, then you'll get an Oscar. Or it has to be something really big that everyone's talking about. Another thing I like about this movie is it gives you like this much time to breathe. Like, literally this much time to breathe. Like, before it jumps right into the plot. Like, it gets you right. Like, it doesn't. A lot of movies, from the movies I've watched before, like this year, maybe like the end of last year, they kind of do like this whole 25-minute build-up where movies will always want to merge you to characters in order for you to feel invested in what happens to the characters. But this movie gives you about this much of a window, and then you're like, shoot, it happens. Like, what you see in the trailer is with probably in the first 3 minutes of the movie, literally. Like, it breathes, it says, duh, like that. I know you probably think I'm a psycho, but like, it goes, duh, like, it goes right to it. And it's something you can appreciate when you've been in a theater for 3 hours. 2 hours one movie, waiting an hour in between the next movie. Yeah, you definitely need something to keep you up. And another thing I like about this movie is it is hilarious. If you like, just as many times as you're like, dun 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 dun. Like, your heart's racing because it's a thriller. You're also in the movies like, oh my god, like we're like, like seriously chuckling, like bawling in tears of laughter. And then some moments, you want to cry. And what's so beautiful about this movie is it really has a strong message. And for me, I like to feel like there's some value added to my life, when I graduated school with a marketing major, one thing that you learn is when you sell something, like the best marketing strategy is adding value that the customer or consumer didn't expect to have. And like a lot of thriller or like movies like this that I've seen, because I watch a lot of movies, as I've stated like 1,000 times, you don't really get value from them. Like you just get like, oh, okay, this was a good movie. But this leaves you with a message. And I really want to tell you the message. So let me just throw up a spoiler thing. And if you don't want to know, then don't know. But what I will say is that to not give it away directly, but to kind of give it away. So I'll still count this as a spoiler because I'm really, really sensitive. Like me, when I go to the movies, I don't want to know anything. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me I'm gonna laugh. Don't tell me. No, don't tell me. Nope, don't tell me. I'm not listening. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Okay, so nonetheless though, but the message is that broken people are stronger because they're broken. A lot of times in life we look at people with disabilities or birth defects or even people who have been through different types of trauma, like losing family members or being molested and or raped, things like that. We look at them as broken individuals, and we have to realize that sometimes that these people are stronger than us. I mean, obviously, because they go through a lot more than us in terms of judgment. But the message, like, it was just, like, you have to see it to understand it. But me just telling you that, you'll now know that, hey, okay, I get this. And the reason why I want to say that is because the ending, the people I went with, we were all on the same page. They understood it as I did. They liked the message. But we're like the same kind of people. Whereas though, I talked to other people that left the theater, like on the elevator, going to the parking lot. And one thing that they mentioned was they didn't like the ending. They thought that other things should have occurred. And I was just telling them, like, not trying to force my opinion on anyone, but I'm like, I think it was more about the message than the idea of, revenge being taken. You get what I'm saying? So, it's definitely something that everyone should go see. So overall, I would just like to let you guys know that this is definitely a darn press play moment. This is not something that you need to wait for to come on Redbox. Honestly, the first showing of the movie, because I went to go see it Thursday night, and of course it premieres Friday technically. The first showing of the movie was sold out. The second one was sold out. My little sister tried to go the following day, and one movie time, and I just know this from what she said, one movie time was sold out. So it just goes to show you that this movie, even if the numbers don't match up, it's really one of those movies where you really want to go see it. You'll enjoy watching it in the theater just because hearing other people's reactions is so dope. Like, to me, that's one of my favorite parts about going to the movies. Like, I love a ratchet crowd. Like, people don't like the talking and stuff like that. I get annoyed by certain things, like people like with loud chewing popcorn, like close your mouth. But on the other hand, like I don't mind like some people yelling at the screen because it like gets me where they are, and I think it's so cool. But that's all I got to say about Split. Make sure you go and see it. So be sure to subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you think below. And I'm Curtis Don Deano. This was another Don Press Play review. Alright.